What's going on, guys? Kyger here, and Global's coming today, so I want to give you a quick starter's guide so you can crush the opposition in the Hill Kingdom. Let's get into it. One of the first decisions you're going to have to make is which of the three main characters you're going to be playing as. You don't have to pay to unlock the other ones. You can do all three whenever you choose. First, we have Cleef, who's our frontline bruiser tank style character. Then we have Orbia, who is our mage damage character who also debuffs the enemy. Then we have Kina, who is our support healer who also buffs our allies. Now let's get into who I think you should be starting with in the game. So Cleef is going to give you some benefits because he has a passive that if he would die for a few seconds, he does not die. He lets you ignore some game mechanics and push through later on. So he is fine, but as you go through in PvP or PvE, unless you spend a lot of money, he is going to struggle. Then we have Orbia, who really just destroys all game modes. Both Orbia and Kina are both very, very good. It's just going to depend on what monsters you have around you. As I said, Orbia is damage and debuffs, so you want more support or tank type monsters around you. Whereas Kina is the opposite. She can revive your monsters. When your monsters die, she puts barriers on them. She is a very, very powerful support, and both Orbia and Kina are very much wanted in raids down the line. So Kina, you're going to want more damage style characters in the front line. Now let's talk about a few core game mechanics to see if the actual gameplay is something that you will enjoy. So this is a follow progression. You can follow the main story. Please don't skip the story because it is a very powerful, very good story and very cohesive for the Summoner's War IP. You also have down here the auto function with, if you press and hold it, you can edit your auto function as you see fit, allowing you to use your character's ultimate, allowing you to use your monster abilities, which I'll get into in a moment, as well as set parameters for that. Then you have the button right next to that, which is your tap targeting style. So the first one, which looks like a little head, is it lets the monsters fight as they see fit. The second one is target. They will all attack the person that you are targeting. The third one is follow whistle. So whenever your character moves, they will follow you, allowing you to dodge certain things. Right here are your potion bars. You can hold to set the different numbers at the percentage of HP that you want them to happen. Red being your summoner, your HP, and green being the monster HP. Now, onto the right hand side, you'll see my character in the top right with green, that is his element, and then his HP and mana, which as you see is 10. Mana is for my three monsters right under. You'll see they each have 2 abilities. You'll see the third one, which has bigger abilities with the 4 in the corner. That is the cost of the ability. If I click it, she will then do the skill, and then as you see, my mana went down. Under that, you'll see I have 3 main abilities, and then an ultimate right next to them, followed by a basic attack, a dodge, a jump, and swap your weapons. You have the 3 main attributes: fire, water, wind, as well as light and dark. You want to read what all these abilities do because they do different things, such as the wind right here does a shield, fire does more damage, water debuffs the enemy. All of them do different things, as well as if I use water against fire, it'll do more damage and have higher crit chance. As you use mana from your abilities, you will then work up your ultimate gauge, which does a very, very powerful effect. Next, let's get into, now that you have an idea of how the actual combat and things work, what should you be focusing on? And what's going to happen is you have quests, which is the Raheel Kingdom story. This will take you straight through from Act 1, which is where you start, all the way through Act 5. Now, this is going to take you through the main story of the entire game, and as you progress, you're going to get area exploration missions. You most likely want to come back to these if you feel like you can't keep up with the main story. Get a couple of these done, get some equipment for the area, learn a little bit of the story, and that's really going to help you progress. While you're doing this, you want to keep an eye of this book up here called the Guard Journal. This is also some missions to help you keep in line with the story of where you should be. Area dungeons and monster stories you're going to come back to later to get some additional rewards as you go. Really, what you want to be doing on your first day today when the game launches is you want to be progressing the story as fast and as far as you can. Why? Is because the game is really gated behind your dailies. Going to be your Curios, Path of Growth, Expedition, Party Dungeons, Battlefield, and Arena. All these things you want to be doing daily, and if you can jump on all of these on the first day, is going to be very, very powerful for you. Now, let's talk about all of these things give you options. Which options should you be taking? For Arena, you have Challenge Arena, which you can, if you're strong enough, just hit quick battle. It's done. You're going to see a lot of that, especially on the first day. It's about 25% stronger than the opponent, then you can just quick battle them. You get 10 a day, and you can hold up to 30 as you see at the top. For Brawl Arena, it's a pick ban style. You get 5 a day with a max of 20. Not many people are going to have much going on day 1, so just get your 5 done a day just so you can keep on top of them. And if you have to miss a day, not a big deal. You can just push out the rest on the next day. Expedition, you have the Special Expedition, which has only had one change so far in the game, to Arachne. There are guides about this. You can check my channel for that down below, as well as the other expeditions, which change depending on the day. All of these give you research log and magician logs, which will give you skill points for your main summoner. Then we have Path of Growth. You have Path of Training, which is for experience for your summoner and your monsters. You have Path of Venture, which is for runes, which is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. And Subjugation is for equipment. The equipment section is mainly for crafting materials and things like that. Then we have your Curios. Curios are going to be for your monster progression. All monsters are going to need magic, essence of magic, and then you have the 5 elemental types for the different monsters. Then we have the party dungeons. Now, as far as what's going to be there when the game launches for global, we got a little sneak peek that we're going to have the 2 event raids right here, Reed Heel and Butterfly Tome, but it appears that we're going to have Foggy Prison to start, and every 2 weeks there's going to be an additional one. They showed pictures and video of up to Boiling Waterfall, but the specific director said every 2 weeks they will be adding one raid, including adding Seal. I do not know when they're going to do it, if they're going to do it in release order. So we have Foggy Prison. In 2 weeks we have Shadow Castle. In 2 weeks we have Boiling Waterfall. 2 weeks after that, Seal. And then last 2 weeks, Twisted Marsh. But all of these raids you could do 3 times a week for full benefit, and then once a day for battle support to get crafting material, coins to use in the exchange, as well as equipment, which are going to be very, very powerful for you. Then we have ruptures, which go back and forth between the two, Monday through Saturday, and on Sunday you can do both. Do the highest level you can for the rewards, and then as you see, entry 1/1, and then you can do one battle support a day for 20,000 gold, regardless of the level of difficulty. Next, let's talk about, I'm going to have a separate video telling you what kind of monsters you want to be looking for, but at the very beginning of the game, they will give you rerolls as much as you want. It says 30 tries at a 10x to try to get the perfect 5-star that you want to start off with. But if you do the 30 and you're not satisfied, you can go hunt some monsters as a little side quest, and then it gives you the 30 tries again. It's a very, very good way of doing this. As I said, I'll have another video telling you the monsters I think you should be looking for, but let me show you where the power is coming from. As you see, my Juno right here has 102,000 power. So we can level it up. All monsters can go to level 70. They're going to require Angelmon, as we see over here. 70, 70, 70, right here. So they're going to require Angelmon of the star level, base 3, base 4, and base 5 star to bring them up. As you see, Verde here, once I rank him up, he'll be able to go, right now he's at 65, he'll be able to go to max 70, which is the max for everybody, which will give him a bonus to his attack, defense, and HP. Then once you evolve them and level them up, then you can awaken and skills. Awaken is primarily, as you see here, it shows it's primarily attack, defense, and HP as well. All 3 stars are going to cost very, very little to go all the way up. 4 stars are going to cost 50 to go all the way up. 5 stars are going to cost 100 to go all the way up. If you summon a duplicate of a 5-star, you will get 20 additional shards, meaning you have to get 5 duplicates to max out an awakening for a 5-star. For skills, you can either use Devilmon, which will increase whatever skill you're doing by 1, or you can use 10 shards of any element of that monster to increase them as well. As you see, I can use fire and water to increase this wind version of this monster. Increasing their skills are going to be very, very powerful as you progress forward. Last but not least is going to be your runes. And this is where you're going to spend the bulk of your time. It's a very, very complicated thing. You can check on my channel. I have a breakdown of how I like to do my runes. But you have to be careful of what your monsters are doing. For example, someone like the Juno I just showed you is going to want a bunch of accuracy to do what she needs to do, as well as HP and evasion so she can survive. On the flip side, you have something like Teor, who's going to want a lot of defense and HP because he deals damage based off of his defense. So you got to keep an eye on things like that. Next, let's talk about, on the main page right here, you'll click field events. These are timed events every single day. They're going to be different things depending on the day that will then give you additional summons free to play so that you can summon more monsters and get more summons and crafting materials. As far as crafting materials, we have professions over here. You have the 4 main types: processing, alchemy, cooking, and blacksmithing. Master is going to be something that's way off in the future for most people. Processing is going to be the easiest one you can upgrade and is required to upgrade the others. Blacksmithing kind of has a cheat code because of a lot of the things they require you can get from what we talked about, Path of Growth, Subjugation Shop, and use a bunch of these as the materials to upgrade it. We also have a cheat code for cooking as well. If we take a look at guilds, which we'll talk about in just a second, guild shop ingredients, specifically takes you, as you see right here, a box containing materials required for cooking level 2 promotion. You buy this and you immediately go up to level 2 cooking, and all of these take you all the way up to max. Once you have all of them at max, then you can go on to master. The first thing you're going to want to go for is processing as high as you can go, because it's required for the rest, cooking and blacksmithing as you can, and then only one you have to actually focus on is alchemy level 6. Why level 6? We'll take a look. If you scroll down, once you get to level 6, you can start making 1 summon scroll a day and 3 a week. So you can get a 10x per week for free without spending a dime. You can also, as we see, use these pages to get research logs, which give you skill points for your characters. Next, let's talk about the guild system. Right now, there isn't a whole lot to the guild besides a guild chat. Right now, they do have a guild raid. It is unclear if it's going to be immediately available on global release, but it sounds like it'll be available very shortly after. You beat up the boss up to level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 to get 5-star light heart magician, runes, gold, and other resources. You also get ranked against other people. You do a wheel once per day to get additional effects. As you all are doing your daily stuff, you get more stuff for free, and then you can do 3 requests a day for additional resources for yourself. Next, let's get into the exchange shop. Down here, you never have to actually touch this, but what's going on here is you can use the in-game paid resource, or you can get some of them for free gems, convert them into reheals, and reheals are used to buy things that players list on the auction house. As a free-to-play player, you can keep an eye on, you can play this like a stock market. You see what's selling for super high. For example, this weapon is 3.3 million for a cleave, but something like the Orbia's weapon over here is 550k. So you can keep an eye on prices and see what people want and need. Very early on, you're going to see a lot in the profession thing. Keep an eye on what's important on the profession advancements as you see promotion quests. I know this book requires a lot of magic craft tools, meaning I can sell magic craft tools or faint magic cores for a bunch of reheals, which I can then sell the reheals for gems, allowing me to get more paid resource for free. Next, let's get into your summoner skills. Which ones should you be increasing? Which ones you shouldn't? So if we take a look right here, I like to avoid the attribute research at the top. Up till level 60, you can redo these as much as you want for free, but after that, you have to pay 100k to redo them. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're doing this all the time, it can make a big difference. Mostly, you're going to want the utility stuff down here first. The first 3, 4, 5 are very important for all 3 main characters. The other 4 down here almost don't matter. The passives, all of their main passive is very powerful. And then there's a couple others, pick and choose between the 3. I have a breakdown for each of the 3 characters on the channel already that you can check out if you are unsure. Then you have your 3 main skills. Bring these up equally, and as you have extra points, you can bring up your basic attack. Your ultimate should be your last one you do, because ultimates are harder to hit and you're not going to be doing them as often. Last but not least, now that you're done for the day, you are all caught up, what else can you do? As I said down here, quests, area exploration, these are all the side quests you can do. Something that's very important is, as I said, you can play all 3 characters. So if you're playing Cleef and you're all done you're as far as you can go with Cleef, you can then jump on Orbia and get all the same rewards from the main story and side quests on Orbia and Kina. Then you can do repeat quests using Raheel orders to get bonus resources. I recommend doing 20 of the burning energy down here for secret energy for the secret room, which I'll show you in just a second, and then dumping the rest into calming the disturbance for path of growth tickets, which you will then save for events that require you to use them later on, as we have right here. As you see, Lucky Bingo, as I use path of growth tickets, I get clovers and use the clovers for rolls to get additional rewards. Now, over here in Curios, we have the secret dungeons up here. There are 3 light and 3 dark. When you hit down here, as you see, I have 3 hours and 37 minutes till I can do it again. You use 100 secret energy, which is roughly 20, maybe 22 energy from the Raheel orders I just showed you, and then you open one of the 6 at random. As you see right here, I have the Light Howl open, and if I click enter, 2 allies can join me and help me take it down. I will get 10 shards of the Howl, and they will get the support friendship tokens down here. Friendship tokens, when you use these, you get Breath of Life, which are going to be very, very important, as well as 1 shard of the monster you're helping them with. You can do as many as you want, but you only get rewards for the 10. Trial of Ascension and Spires of Ascension are the last things I'm going to talk about. Trial of Ascension is the endless tower mode. There are 200 normal, 200 hard. Every 10, you're going to get energy down here for special room. Once that happens, you'll be able to choose all the way up, and once you do special room 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get to 10, you're always going to be doing level 10. This does not stack. So if you clear floor 11, you're not going to get credit towards the next special room. This is something we've been asking them to change. It will in the future, I hope. So every 10 floors, you want to come down to your special room. That's going to be 40 a month, as you see, 3 weeks left at the top. Then you have Spires of Ascension, which is the challenge version. You have the Celestial Tower, which is its own tower with difficulties, and then every time you complete a level, then you will have to complete 3 challenges down here for resources. You then use those resources over here. Primarily, you're going to be mainly focused on Imperial Power and Summoner Power. Imperial Power is going to be the most important one because this affects all of your monsters, attack, defense, and HP. Then Summoner Power is your summoner, attack, defense, and HP. Alchemy is primarily healing of the types, and Celestial is deal more damage or take less damage from each of the elements. These are going to be the last ones you're going to want to work on. As you increase the level of your monsters and power them up, you are going to get account experience, which will then level up account right here, which will then give you account skills over here, which will give you bonuses to your summoner in the top side or monsters on the bottom side. Top left is summoner attack stuff. Top right is summoner defense stuff. Then you have bottom left monster attack stuff. Bottom right monster defense stuff. Now, as a rule of thumb, there are 3 monsters and 1 of you. So maxing out all of the monster stuff is going to be your first priority. Then choose how you wish upon the summoner bonuses. For example, Cleef is a defense-based one, so giving him this defense percent is very, very important. As well as something like Orbia does a bunch of debuffs, so giving her accuracy will be very, very important. All of them would love crit rate, crit damage, but you will also love cooldowns so you can use your versatile skills more often. Let me know in the comment section down below which of the 3 main characters you're going to play and how excited you are for the global launch. Till next time, guys.